Hey everyone, Odin here. Have you heard of Trails in the Sky? Or, better yet, the remake that's been all the talk recently? Trails in the Sky FC is the first game in the franchise, and it is a great place to start your journey. However, there is actually another game that is great, let alone amazing. Trails of Cold Steel, the 6th game in the series.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, going from Game 1 to Game 6, or 6 to 1, sounds a lot like Star Wars talk. But no, really, Cold Steel is a wonderful place to start. That is where I started, and retroactively going back and filling in the gaps, some of which I never even noticed at first, is a treat in itself. Interested in what makes Trails of Cold Steel a phenomenal experience? Sweet. But before we start, this video is sponsored by me! Me! So dumb. You 42 strong friends and counting, thank you. If you haven't already, hit that like button and cast that firebolt and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Alright, Class 7, let's get on with it. Trails of Cold Steel was the first game I played in the franchise. I was getting off the hype train of Persona 5. Phenomenal game, by the way. You know, I should review that royal version someday.
Please, no! You don't have enough sleep as is!
Sorry. I read wonderful things about Trails, particularly Cold Steel, while searching around for some new things to play. It really piqued my interest. Trails of Cold Steel released in 2015 for the PlayStation Vita in the United States, 2 years after the Japan release. By Trails standards, that is an extremely quick localization time frame. If you know, you know. The first game re-released in the United States for the PlayStation 4 on March 26, 2019. But before that version was available, I played the PS3 version of the game through PS Now. Yup, that service. Thanks Sony for such a wonderful product. Nonetheless, I loved every second of it, and I pre-ordered Trails of Cold Steel and the sequel, Trails of Cold Steel 2, which later released in November of that year. I was hooked on this dopamine fuel adrenaline rush for life. Trails of Cold Steel features a young, 17-year-old male named Reen Schwarzer. He is the primary main character of the Cold Steel games, and his journey is an interesting one. He is a first year at Thor's military academy in the Erebonia Empire. Erebonia is a major country in the continent of Zemeria, which is the main continent for the Trails series. Erebonia is a militaristic country with a deeply integrated social class system. More on that later. This social class system embodies the whole country and its politics. Sound remotely interesting? That's just the tip of the iceberg. As Reen arrives at the academy, you are met with a diverse cast of characters who compose Class 7. Class 7 is a new class at Thor's, which contains a variety of students. Who are these students in Class 7? You have Alyssa, a blonde-haired student with a fiery attitude. Elliot, a young, shy male who loves to play music. Gaius, a foreign student from the Nord Highlands. Machias, a hot-headed male who has a grudge against nobility, which is one of the plot's finer points. Fee, a silver-haired girl that is careless with an unknown backstory. Eustace, a male born in nobility. His father also leads one of the 4 great noble houses. Laura, a swordsman from Legram, her father also being the Viscount of the Legram region. And then there's Emma, a mysterious girl with a plot. I guess fan service was not omitted when they were at the drawing board. And finally, the teacher, Sarah, who also has some story going on. They all meet in a classic dungeon, and it is revealed what the true purpose of Class 7 is to have a variety of students across backgrounds and social statuses. The diverse cast of characters and setup of Class 7 helps build a true sense of being in a classroom, where varied individuals across different economic classes and backgrounds come together. This fuels a complex story that only builds as the chapters pass. Also, did I mention this game is very anime? Everybody has a short skirt. The story of Trails of Cold Steel is an introduction of the 3rd arc of the Trails franchise. As I stated before, this is a wonderful place to start since most of what is covered in the game focuses only on the local events. There are references to the past games, but it also adds layers of mystery, as like the main character, you also do not have knowledge of the world outside of Erebonia. Class VII is tasked with various forms of work, whether it be attending day-to-day tasks, practical exams, field studies, or navigating a school building with a basement that appears to change each day for plot reasons. Hold on. You're an edgy, dark-haired, katana-wielding student?
Ahem. It's otaku over here. Get it correct. It's Tachi.
Anyway, you are a Tachi-wielding male who arrived by train to an academy. You meet a diverse cast of classmates. There is a calendar featuring the date and day of week. You're a part of a special class that is part of a special agenda for the principal, and you navigate an ever-changing dungeon? Sounds like Persona?
Leave me alone!
Persona references aside, that is where the similarities pass. It can be easy to draw upon parallels as the plot gets larger, but I promise there are deviations. Your first field study is in an agricultural town named Keldic. It is a brilliant first town, as it introduces you to many concepts regarding the plot of the game. You get to see the class system that affects the country and how it affects the inhabitants across all socioeconomic statuses. After a dispute between two individuals, both of which come from opposite sides of the economic system, Reen and the group assist with finding who are the perpetrators behind a recent event. The event highlights the game's central theme, and it's a brilliant way to get you into the story. And that's just Chapter 1! Upon solving the problem affecting the town, which can be an early plot spoiler so I won't go into that, the students go back to Thor's, concluding their first field study. Upon leaving Keldic, Reen notices the parallels between helping the townsfolk and their agendas. To Reen, it looks suspiciously like Bracer work. Bracers are a faction deep in the lore of Trails, which is one of the many lore-connecting references you can and will experience throughout the game. Trails of Cold Steel lays a phenomenal foundation of how the world of Zumeria functions and how that knowledge can be transferred across different arcs or games. It's just brilliant world building, and I cannot express it enough. Combat in Trails of Cold Steel is pure tactical finesse. This is expected with the third major arc in a franchise that has been going strong since 2004. Yes, Trails is over 21 years old. It can legally drink. Trails should really go hit up Sarah for that sweet cold beer. The series combat has seen improvements, and Trails of Cold Steel is no different. Combat is turn-based, however, position is important regarding success. From basic attacks, crafts, and magic called arts, position of the attacks matter, as some have an area of an effect, and there can be lots of enemies on screen. To cast arts, the individuals of Class VII wield an Orbment device called an Arcus. In Trails, magic is not something the average individual can wield. That is where an Orbment device comes into the picture. By slotting crystal gems called quartz, people can cast magic like your magic-wielding individuals in Final Fantasy. Speaking of Final Fantasy, does inserting quartz to cast magic sound a lot like materia? Well, it is very similar. However, instead of copying the materia system, Trails builds on top of it, and it is one of the most engaging and flexible magic systems in a video game, ever. You want to make Reen a physical damage dealer? You can do that. You want to make him a healer? You can do that too. Or, do you want to mix of both? Well, you can also do that. Flexibility is why Trails is so awesome. You get complete control on what arts characters equip and use. A major addition to the combat in Trails of Cold Steel is the link system. By linking, characters can see each other's movements while they are not looking and can do things like follow-up attacks for extra damage. The probability of this happening depends on the weapon type and monster affinity to that weapon. Combat in Trails of Cold Steel is an absolute treat. It can be very engaging, and you have full agency on how you want to build your party, but another trait for Cold Steel is its music. It's a nihonfalcom game. Done. End of video. No, But really, it's a Falcom game, so that means one thing. The music is, as always, a freaking banger. You have quaint town medleys, moving battle themes, and tension-filled boss music. It's all there. Just take a listen. Trails of Cold Steel, like the past Trails games, has an amazing music ensemble. Trust me, you will more than likely save the tracks to your Spotify, YouTube Music, or whatever music app you use. It is inevitable. In Trails of Cold Steel, the difficulty can range, but in a good way. You have the standard choices of easy, medium, hard, and do you hate yourself? Sorry, I mean Nightmare. If you really do hate yourself though, Nightmare is for you. It's pain. Lots and lots of pain. All fights on normal are seasoned just right, with the exception to a few.
No! They caught I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, everyone. No! They caught us!
I'm sorry, everyone.
Was it John? No!
Outside some shenanigans, boss fights are well balanced and require some thought. I do strongly recommend playing on normal, as you will get your fill of both easy and tough in a playthrough. However, if you're itching for some pain, I guess hard, and if you really want the pain, Nightmare is a thing. Trails of Cold Steel is an amazing experience. Not only is it a great point to start the franchise, the game has a wonderful follow-up into the next game. Trust me, you will be busting out that wallet. If not, you have an incredible self-control, and I applaud you for that. If you do bust out that wallet though, I'm just saying I told you so. nihonfalcom have an enigmatic art of creating games that are so engaging from a story and lore perspective. The story, characters, combat, and music are on point. Sure, a series of 13 games and counting sounds like a daunting task. But trust me, you can do it. Don't rush it, savor these games. The lore threads and beats are memorable, and sometimes they hit you hard. Have you played Trails of Cold Steel? Or are you considering on buying it now with the latest Trails in the Sky remake on the horizon? Let me know in the comments, please. I read each and every one of your comments. They truly mean a lot to me. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. It lets me know how much you like this content. Odin here. Have a Zantetsuken day. Peace out.